All right, time for me to hop on here and do a video that I can't believe I'm doing week one. Like the New York Jets won last night, and I was like planning to come on here and talk about how much I love this team and how ready I am. But like 4 plays into the game, Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles and ruptures his Achilles and out for the year. And I'm just going to talk for 10 minutes, and it's not only going to be somber. I'm just going to talk about the outlook for the New York Jets the rest of the year. But first, just the elephant in the room, which is Rodgers. Yeah, he ruptured his Achilles, which is one of the worst, and two, one of the hardest injuries to come back from in sports. And it happened 4 plays into the game. And people next to me were making jokes when Vinny Testaverde came out for the coin toss. And Vinny Testaverde in his um not Jets debut, but in the season opener in 1999 tore his Achilles. And they're saying that better not happen to Rodgers. And the play design was a cut block design. And Rodgers maybe should have gotten the ball out early, but regardless, that doesn't matter. And um he goes down. Leonard Floyd gets a sack, and his calf ruptures, Achilles ruptures. I see him limping, and I go, "Oh my god!" And then he goes down. Everybody else notices, and yeah, there's his season. And not even like first talking about what it means to the Jets fan base, right? This Jets fan base, the Jets have the longest playoff drought in sports, and you bring in Aaron Rodgers, who's one of the best quarterbacks ever. And I don't care what people say about him as a person or his age, he's still one of the best quarterbacks ever. And he's the best quarterback the Jets have had in the past 30, 40, 50 years. And the Jets were a Super Bowl team. They were with Rodgers. Are they now? Probably not. They're still a playoff team, and I'll talk about that. But team go down 4 plays into the game and to an Achilles injury, that hurts a lot. And I'm just struggling to keep a straight face right now because, like, obviously I'm a Jets fan and this means a lot to me. And not only like I could stand up here and say Jets fans deserve better because we do, but the only person that deserves better is Aaron Rodgers. You cannot talk enough about how Aaron Rodgers went through a change this offseason, coming to a new team with new players. And yes, he had a wish list and he brought over a bunch of guys, but this Jets team is so different. And Rodgers did everything right this offseason, from the introductory press conference where he said that that Lombardi trophy looks a little lonely to Hard Knocks, where even like he barely showed frustration, and the saying just the maturity of the players. Like, he was so high on his Xavier Gibson, who scored the winning touchdown last night. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to him. Like, he was really excited for this year, and it's not fair to any player to get hurt. It's not fair, especially an injury like that. And that's why I'm struggling right now, and obviously changed the outlook of the Jets season. And yeah, so what does this mean first for Rodgers, and then I'll talk a little about the Jets. So first, yeah, so there's 2 avenues that will come out about Rodgers. The first is yeah, he's 39 years old, just suffered one of the worst injuries in sports. Achilles is a really hard thing to come back from. Some people never come back from it, and if you come back, there's a 50% chance, even higher, that you're not the same. And so there will be retirement questions. And Rodgers was like he said, going into his darkness retreat, he was 90% retiring. And I'm sure he didn't think of what happens if I suffer the worst injury in sports. And now he's going to be doing a lot of sitting around, a lot of rehab, a lot of grueling rehab. There's a chance he retires. But there's also the chance that he comes back. I just think with Aaron Rodgers, like, and his personality and what he wanted to give to this team and what he is to the sport, I think he's going to try to come back. And I think a retirement decision won't come soon. If I had to pick right now, I do think Aaron Rodgers will be playing in 24. Do I think this is week 1 in 24? I don't know. But I think he's playing as a New York Jet in week 1 in 2024. And that might be me denying the fact that he only played 4 snaps as a Jet, but I think he owes it not to himself, but to this franchise. And if he wants to play, he'll play. And yeah. And so it's hard for me to stop talking about Rodgers because obviously, like, there's so much buildup going into this year where he says on the Pat McAfee show he's playing for the Jets to the official trade to his preseason debut where I was at, and the place was electric. You should have seen the place last night when they introduced Rodgers and he came out with the American flag to the season. Just yeah. Um, so I think 2024 he'll be back, and I hope he's back, and you should hope he's back too because it's a real privilege to watch a guy like that because he is one of the most talented players to ever play the game of football. Um, yeah, and so now let's just talk a little about last night and then the Jets season. So first off, Zach Wilson looked okay. He didn't look good. And I his QBR was really bad, and he threw a really bad interception and was game managing the rest of the game. And I don't know if you're going to be able to do that because the Jets will play a lot of ugly games now, but still, I just think that I don't know if Zach Wilson's the guy, and I think the Jets putting Zach Wilson out there for the rest of the season might be reverting to 2022 where he was demoted twice. And I'm fine with him getting a chance starting in Dallas. They'll bring in another free agent quarterback, but it's Zach's job until it's not. And it's going to come, the answer is going to come faster than people think with Zach Wilson because they're not treating him like it's a development. The Jets and Zach Wilson are not on different timelines. It's not me saying Zach Wilson can't be a good player. Regardless on what you think about Zach Wilson, um, the bottom line, what this is, the Jets are a Super Bowl caliber roster, and Zach Wilson is not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback yet. And so it's Zach Wilson's job until not. So the Jets have 5 more games until their bye against the Cowboys, who just demolished the Giants, the Patriots, good defense, Chiefs. Obviously, it's Patrick Mahomes coming in on Sunday Night Football. Broncos, good defense. Eagles, good defense. So you're going to find out about Zach Wilson really fast. And then come trade deadline time, the Jets really are in it, and they're going to make a move for a quarterback. They'll give it up. They owe it to their roster. They owe it to their fans. They owe it to everyone. They even owe it to Aaron Rodgers. And they owe it to all these guys. And so possible things for the Jets. Obviously, there are guys on the free agent market. There's Carson Wentz. There's luring Matt Ryan out of retirement. I wouldn't like that. I think the best option is bringing in a stopgap for now because obviously Tim Boyle's not the backup. And then come trade deadline, you try to get a guy like Ryan Tannehill, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, someone who's just out there and that a team's willing to depart from. And I just threw out names. None of those guys might not be available. The bottom line is this: quarterback's really thin, and if it means training for a backup quarterback, because Zach Wilson's not a top 10 backup quarterback in the league, you can find someone else. But at the same time, you can find something out. So not enough with the quarterback thing because obviously that's going to be the headline for ever. And it's really it hurts a lot. A few things from last night. One, the Jets are going to be a run first team now. Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, 2 running back ones. They're still using Breece Hall in, but did you see what he did last night? He's a monster. And hopefully he didn't lose a step, but knock on wood, it didn't look like it last night. Dalvin Cook looked fine. He showed his burst. He also shows why some people think that he's not one of the best running backs in the league anymore. They designed plays for him, and Cook looked pretty good. Wide receivers, Garrett Wilson's incredible. No receiving yards number, but that touchdown catch is one of the best catches of the season, and it's week 1, and I don't think you'll see a lot better than that. So yesterday I talked in my Twitter, I talked about keys to the game when I said receiving options outside of Wilson. It was Allen Lazard. Mecole Hardman only got 0 snaps on offense, which was really surprising. They just got to find another option because people will start keying on Wilson, and people will start loading the box on Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson's going to have to find those options. So whether it's Allen Lazard, whether it's Tyler Conklin, CJ Uzomah, getting Hardman out there, Randall Cobb, you have options. Michael Carter. You're going to have to make options. And so, So defensively, the Jets defense is for real. The Jets defense, the Bills scored 16 points last night. And regardless of what you think of Josh Allen or not, he's very mistake prone, but he's still a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's so talented. Stephon Diggs is a top 5 receiver in the league. That Bills offensive line isn't that good, but the Jets had 5 sacks on the night, and their pass rush is so deep. And that was without one of their top pass rushers in Carl Lawson. And they get Lawson back. They'll probably they have to bench a pass rusher. I don't know who it's going to be, honestly. Quentin Jefferson had 2 sacks last night. He was incredible. Jermaine Johnson was incredible. Obviously, the Jets have dogs up front. And I'm going to mention it. Sauce Gardner did not have a good game. And Sauce Gardner is the reigning defensive rookie of the year, first team All-Pro. Cornerbacks have bad games. And in a game where Sauce Gardner had a bad game, the Jets defense still played incredible. Defense was this hard. Even before Aaron Rodgers got hurt, when Aaron Rodgers was the heart of the team, the defense was right there. And that goes to Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Quentin Williams. This defense now has a lot more pressure on them. And there's this one scene in the Hard Knocks that I was thinking about on my way home, and um, Chef Olbrich and the defense watching the Aaron Rodgers in camp, and they're going, "That's our quarterback," and they're also happy. Well, sorry guys, it's not anymore. He's still your quarterback. He's still going to be around, hopefully, but your game plan's a little different. But that defense has dogs in them, and you have another test in Dallas because Dallas has weapons. Dak Prescott, turnover prone quarterback, obviously led the league in picks. You got to force turnovers. And last night the Jets were able to force four turnovers. And so this defense is for real. And yeah, but that's stating the obvious. Last, special teams. How good of a moment is it for Xavier Gibson and who undrafted rookie that the Jets brought in, not expecting to make it, and Preston Camp, Hard Knocks star, gets an overtime punt return touchdown for the win. That's just so awesome, and there's not enough you could say about it. Okay. And the last for me right now is just talking about the Jets. And first saying right now, I cannot call the Jets a Super Bowl contender. And that hurts for me to say. It breaks my heart for me to say. They're still a playoff team. They still have a top 5 roster in football. And I believe that even without the quarterback, they have a top 5 roster in football from the defense to the offense. They just beat Buffalo, who's a Super Bowl contender. I don't care what people say about Buffalo. They're a Super Bowl contender. And we're going to find a lot about this team. But it's very easy when your leader goes down. And not only your leader, but the person who you're mirroring your season around goes down on the first snap. It's very easy to quit or lower your morale and stuff. Happened to the Jets in '99. I've watched that game over and over again. When Vinny Testaverde went down, Bill Parcells looked out of funk. The Jets looked out of funk. Jets looked out of funk yesterday, but they didn't quit, and they won against a divisional rival in a huge game. And you are going to find out a lot about this team. This team has personality. This team has grit. This team will rally around Aaron Rodgers. And obviously he has a tough year coming up, but this team's going to rally. And right now, the Jets are a playoff team. And they can win a playoff game. I don't know if they could. I don't think they can win a playoff game with Zach Wilson. But they can make it there. And I do think they'll make a move for a quarterback. I think they'll either trade for one at the deadline. If Zach's not there, we're going to find out a lot about Zach Wilson. But last thing I'm going to say, Jets, we're going to find out a lot about them. And I'm obviously in a really somber mood right now because of Aaron Rodgers. And prayers go out to him and speedy recovery. He should get surgery this week now that it's confirmed. And I really hope this isn't the end for his career. I wouldn't only be saying this if he wasn't a Jet. Yeah. Obviously a really bad mood, but it was a good win for the Jets. They have a lot of personality, have a lot of grit, and I'm excited to watch the rest of the year for them. There's still 16 more games, but it hurts right now. But I'll get out another video later in the week. Have a great day, guys.